How's it going, YouTube? It's Panda time. It's no surprise that I love Leomon, and in this video we're taking a look at my Leomon X deck profile. I think the Leomon line got a bunch of support in BT9, and in the past the Leomon deck was just like a scuffed blue hybrid deck, but that is no longer the case. I do like the new Leomon deck quite a bit, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about it and how well you think the deck could do against the current meta. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, we're gonna start with the babies. This is an aggressive deck, and as such we do play 5 babies to ensure we can close the game out. We have 4 Shamans and 1 Upamon. The Shaman is really good. It gives your champions plus 1000 DP on all turns, which is really good. As a Leomon focused deck, we want our champions, our Leomons, to put in work, and the extra 1k can make such a big difference, letting them swing over stuff or survive in security. Aside from that, Upamon is a nice one-off to help us get some card draw. For the rookies, we have a pretty standard 12, I would say. We have 4 Gomamon. The Gomamon is really good. It just works really well with the deck is trying to do, which is gain memory when our Digimon are deleted. So the Gomamon gives you an inheritable of 1 memory on deletion, and when paired up with the Leomon, you can turn your Leomon from 2 memory to 3, which is quite a big deal, right? Like, you swing your Leomon, it's deleted, boom, 3 memory. It gives you a lot to work with. We have the Gabumon. Like the Shaman, he gives you plus 1000 DP on all turns. Now this only works if you have 8 cards in hand, and to be fair, that doesn't happen all the time, but because we have Jerrys, a lot of times, you know, you have a Jerry on the board, your opponent's attacking at you, and you're just constantly drawing a bunch of cards. Before you know it, you have a lot of cards in hand, and the Gabumon paired up with the Shaman can make your Leomons really powerful. Aside from that, we have 2 Modoki Betamons and 2 Beamons. So these are kind of interchangeable, could be whatever you want them to be. The Modoki Betamon is nice because there's, you know, some memory gain that you want to stop, and he's just like an annoying Digimon for your opponent to deal with. The Beamon can pick up dual colored blue cards, and we have quite a bit of those, so it's nice for the search. So that's going to be it for our rookies. You're going to see we play a ton of champions. Keep in mind, you know, as you see the champion list, that our champions can be played from Jerry, they can be Digivolved from Tamers, right? So it makes sense for us to play so many Tamers, so many level 4s. So we have 4 of the classic Leomon. I love this guy. First of all, the alt art is super nice. I recommend it. It looks so good. On deletion, you gain 2 memory, and that's simple enough effect, but it just works so well with what we're trying to do for the whole deck. We also have 4 of the new Leomon. This one is also on deletion, gain 2 memory, but he also gives you a card draw and he can act as a blocker. He's 4k, but that's fine. His name is Leomon, and that's what really matters. Now we have the star of the show, the Leomon X antibody. We have 4 of these, obviously. So you Digivolve him on top of any of your Leomons, and then when he would die by battle, you get to then play the Leomon for free, which is very powerful. On top of that, he's a dual color Digimon, being blue and green, which matters quite a bit for the rest of the deck, as you'll see. But this is what enables the whole deck. You go into a stack with Leomon, Digivolve Leomon X over it, and you just start swinging, right? If it dies in security, you get a free body. If it doesn't, your opponent has to deal with it. When they do, you get the Leomon anyway, right? It's very annoying. On top of that, to round up our champions, we have a little hybrid package. So I run 1-1-1. We have 1 Kumamon because he's a bear, 1 Lobomon because he's the Altard, and then I have 1 Kendogarurumon. And there is a big reason why I run the Kendogarurumon. That's because our deck is reliant on getting memory on deletion, and as you can imagine, we run Modoki Betamon, but our deck just gets clapped by the memory stoppers. So having a way to deal with them, to bounce those Gassimons, those Chumons, those Terrymons is crucial. If you don't have ways to deal with those level 3s, your deck just auto loses to those decks or those cards. So Kendogarurumon is good. He bounces those very annoying things and enables the rest of your deck to work. So the idea is we have a bunch of the Leomon, right, the full Leomon package, and then we still do play quite a bit of Tamers, so we want to have hybrids to close the game out because we can be an aggressive deck. And that's it for the level 4s. Now for the 5s, it's pretty simple actually. We play 4 Panyamon X antibody. I don't play the regular Panyamon, I just don't think he's that good and we don't have room for it. Panyamon X is a dual color Digimon, and he has the same effect as the Leomon X, where on deletion is going to summon the Leomon. So a very classic play we do, one of our strongest plays, is you have a Leomon, right? You Digivolve it into a Leomon X, you get the card draw, he swings, dies, Leomon comes back, and then what do you do with that Leomon? You Digivolve into a Panyamon X. Panyamon X can then swing, he would die. Oh, you get Leomon back anyway, right? You can just recycle the Leomon over and over. The Pandemon X is very, very strong, and he's a nice dual color Digimon, which again matters for the rest of our stuff. Aside from that, I do run a one-of Paildramon, because, you know, we are an aggressive deck, and we do have green level 4s, and we get a bunch of level 4s that are blue for free anyway, right? So oftentimes we have a free Leomon on the board. You can Digivolve into a Leomon X, and then Jogress into a Paildramon. Or even, we oftentimes just have a lot of memory to work with. If you have a spare body, you can just Digivolve into Paildramon manually. It costs 4, but you get 2 swings, which might be enough to close the game out. This is just a one-off, you know, it's kind of cheeky, people don't expect it. I think he's good, obviously he's a strong Digimon, right? And we have just enough to be able to enable it. And I think it's pretty nice as a one-off. Beyond that, we have 2 level 6s, and they are Dino Tigermon. We gotta stay on theme, of course. This guy can Digivolve from Saber Leomon, but there's no good Saber Leomon, sadly. Every day I wake up hoping that Bandai gives us a better Saber Leomon, or a new Bancho Leomon for that matter. Dino Tigermon is nice, he can Digivolve over all of our level 5s. When he swings, you're going to suspend your opponent's Digimon or Tamer, and then he gets to unsuspend, right? So again, goes well with the rest of the deck, giving us that bit of aggression. I think that, you know, I originally just played it because I figured like, oh, it's the level 6 of the deck, I'll just try it. But I was impressed by his performance. You know, for a deck that relies heavily on our level 4s, it's just nice to have a little bit of punching power. Sometimes you just need like a 12k to get over stuff and just have a big body your opponent can't answer. It can swing twice, it can clear the board, and it is nice. I do like it. However, if you didn't want to play this and you wanted to play more tech cards or something else, like, you know, go for it. But I do personally like it. Now that is going to be it for our Digimon. For the Tamers, we have 1 Davis and 1 Mimi. These are our memory fixers. So Davis is really good because we play a bunch of blue and green Digimon. So oftentimes Davis is going to grab you 2 cards, which is really good. And the Mimi works well because all of our level 5s are dual colored, and they can always proc the Mimi, letting us get extra hatches or extra attacks, which again just synergizes with the rest of the deck as we are naturally an aggressive deck. I really like both Davis and Mimi, and I wouldn't really change them. Beyond that, we have 3 Jerrys. Jerry is really good. She can play the Leomons for free, which is really nice. And then on top of that, she has an effect where your opponent attacks, you tap Jerry, you draw a card. It's just very, very solid card. Jerry's absolutely insane security. I don't play 4 because oftentimes you want to be Digivolved into your Leomons anyway, as it's our main level 4. And sometimes I find myself having dead Jerrys. I think 3 is a good number where you see it most games and it is going to put in work, but it's not so much that it's going to be clunky in your hand. So I do like the 3 of Jerry. I also have 3 Davis and Ken. Davis and Ken is a very nice dual color tamer. Again, it has blue and green synergy. We have a lot of blue and green Digimon, so we can get a ton of memory out of these. And it just synergizes well with the deck because it lets you restand when you Digivolve into a dual color Digimon. So like a very common play that I do is that you have your Leomons out, and you are more than happy to swing with these, right? Because you swing, you want to get that early damage. And if they die in security, cool. You get the extra memory, you get the extra card draw, and you get to continue on any of your plays. A lot of times they will swing and they will survive, and then you're like, oh cool, it survived. Now what? Well, now that they survived, you can then Digivolve into a Leomon X for 0, tap your dual tamer, it restands, Leomon X can swing again. If it dies, boom, you get the Leomon back anyway, right? So the dual tamer is nice, it gives us a lot of memory to work with, and it just enables this really cool plays and lets you get extra attacks to close the game out. So that is it for our Tamers. Now for the options, we do have quite a bit of options. We're going to start off with 2 Hammer Sparks. We have a lot of card draw, and a lot of times you just end up having extra cards in hand, and having Hammer Sparks in that case is nice. It's good in security, it works with our deck because again we have so much memory to work with. Beyond that, we have 2 Blue Memory Boost. It can't pick up the level 6, but everything else is fair game. The blue memory cards are just too good right now, and I think you kind of just need these in most decks. We play 2 Megadeth. Megadeth is a really powerful card. Of course you know this if you played against Imperial. When I thought about what removal card I would like to play, Megadeth just made the most sense. It's easy for us to play it with our, green Tamers or dual color Digimon. It's memory efficient, which again just goes well with the deck, and it can just answer everything, so it's very, very strong, and I do like it as a 2-off. To round it up, we have 1 Ice Wall because we're a blue deck and Ice Wall's kind of broken, and I also have 1 Forbidden Trident. Forbidden Trident is good because it gives your Digimon extra DP. More importantly, it can let you bounce level 3s which, back to the Kendogurumon, what I was saying, you need to be able to answer those memory blockers. So the Trident is nice in that case. The extra DP can come up, and the effect is not once per turn. So if you're doing restand shenanigans, you do get to bounce multiple Digimon. I do like it as a one-off. Anyway, that is my Leomon X deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thank you guys so much for watching.